Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Inside Movies Galore. I'm your host, David Strege, and here I have another review for you. This time it is of a 2018 release of 4 short films of Todd E. Braley's award-winning films from 2016, 2017, 2018, thereabouts. And the first short film from his production company, Infinity Media Productions. I believe that's what it's called. That's on here. It's called Rain, and it's not listed on IMDb under anything, but it stars Keira Hall as Ashley, and a best friend by the name of Chloe, played by Chapin Fannerman. And it's basically about a young woman who is deathly afraid of rain, specifically because of some trauma that happened to her when she was very young. And now that she's older, there's a really bad storm that happens over a span of like 10 or 11 days that her friend is not able to go and check her out and see if she's all right or anything, because the weather has been so bad. And it's a very emotional film because the scene where it has the flashback in the past. The young girl who plays her has that expression on her face that you don't and aren't likely to forget. And when the muggers that end up having an impression on her life at that very early age, when one of them stands in front of her and holds a gun to her head, it's that look that that is haunting, and it's not something that will leave you shortly after the film. It's a sad film, actually. But I think that the acting was done really well on both actresses that were involved in the process of this kind of fear. And when you see exactly what happens, it's even more sad. But I really enjoyed watching this film. It was a fairly slow-moving film, but I really thought the film was shot really well. And it's not one that I will probably forget anytime soon. The second film with Infinity Media Productions director Todd E. Bailey is called Kill Show, and I believe that this particular short film was done with his daughter. So at least I think it was his daughter, or it could be someone related to him. But Brianne Braley is the actress in here, and this is a first-person film. Doesn't seem like a lot of acting needs to entirely be involved. Just more or less, there's a profile of this young lady who apparently has a part-time job as someone who makes people happy, and something bad happens to her. So in a sense, this is kind of a revenge film, but it's like it's a revenge film against everyone. Only this particular revenge will particularly only harm the individual that is trying to enact the revenge on. Because even though justice had never been done for her, for this particular individual, it's attracted the wrong kind of attention and the wrong side of the law. I thought that it was an interesting narrative, to say the least, and I wouldn't have minded to see if there was something else that could have been filmed as a whole, as a full entire film. But it was entertaining, and I thought the acting was pretty decent. The third film that is involved in this film is based upon the all-time classic Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, except this time it uses the lost Lenore aspect of the Raven poem. And I do like that instead of being an actual story, it is actually a re-performance of the poem, a re-spoken word of the poem. And it's a relationship in here in this particular short film, between a mother and a daughter. And that's one thing that I enjoyed about this particular short film, because you get to see different aspects of the Raven over time, and I don't think you get to see that many films where it's an adaptation of the Raven, and it's a relationship between the mother and daughter kind of thing. And the actors and actresses evolved. The reader is Heather Carson, and she seems to act this out pretty decently. The Raven, who is in fact the daughter, is played by Elizabeth Larsen, who also played in The Rain, or Rain, the short film, which was the first short film that I somewhat discussed on this short film collection. And I thought that the location of this particular story was actually pretty decent. I like the fact that it was in a home with kind of a balcony kind of a thing on the inside, which kind of had something to do with the story. So I think that was a very good location to do this particular story in. I really like ornate staircases and with carvings and stuff like that. And that type of a staircase or balcony was on the inside of the house. So yeah, I really enjoyed seeing The Raven in this little conjunction of short films. Kind of different. And the last short film on here, by Infinity Media Productions director Todd E. Braley, is called The Confession, where we have a young woman who apparently has been caught by two different detectives. and the short film is actually called The Confession. And Lacey Lane is the actress involved in this film, and she plays Felina, she is a hit woman. And apparently the clock is ticking as Detective Robbins and Detective Pratt are trying to figure out who is her next hit to take out on the mob that she has been taking out, because they know that she is the killer behind these killings, and they have to figure out exactly who her next victim is, because they have to crack the case. Yeah, much of this film is narrated by Felina, so we're getting this from her perspective on some of her life and her lifestyle, and I see a little bit of the same that I saw in Kill Show, where in Kill Show you saw the young girl getting herself made up into the type of job that she was going to do next. Whereas here we see a gun laid out on the table, an ashtray, and you see the young woman's Felina's, or you assume that this is Felina's hands, taking out a smoke and smoking, and you just see the profile of her mouth, and so I think that Todd E. Braley is very good at showing profiles without showing the entire face in films, and he's very good at telling a narrative of a story without using the entire body of the actor or actress involved. And I think that's very unique, where you don't see who the person is until like almost the very end or the very middle, until you need to see her or need to see him. You know what I mean? So I thought that this was very good at showing an element of surprise. You did not expect what entirely happened in the short film, and I like that about it. I mean, you need to have some kind of element of surprise in a criminal background kind of story. I mean, it tells some of what was going on, but only enough so that you needed to know, and it left you a little bit mysteriously as to what happened next. As it is, there's a trailer for a sequel to this short film at the very end. Now, I don't know if this was a mistake or a blip on the producer's part, but on my copy, when you click the menu confession thing, it actually plays the whole thing of Rain over, and then after that is actually the copy of Confession. So you actually have to fast forward that through that to get to the Confession. So I think that it's very possible that when he was putting these films together, he accidentally linked those two together in that particular section. So other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed watching each of the actors and actresses that were involved in each of these short films. Lacey Lane played Felina in The Confession. Detective Robbins was played by Christopher M. Carver, and Sean Murphy and Tara Jenkins also played in The Confession. So, yeah, definitely if you can get a chance, check out these films if these sound like something that you would definitely watch. I found this collection on eBay, but I think that you can actually, if you're interested, contact Todd Braley himself, and you can check these films out on your own. Um, I was certainly glad to see these films. I just enjoy describing these films to people. I didn't want to say everything about these films because I want people to go and seek and search them out. But yeah, um, I'm definitely glad that I have another film that's by the director that I have to watch later on. It's called Silence, and that's based on a short film from about 2010 called Silence that he turned into a feature film. So definitely take a look out for keep a lookout for that film review. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being able to come and take and listen to my ramblings on these short films. And yeah, definitely check them out in your own right. And thanks for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Hopefully you enjoyed my description of these films, and like, share, and subscribe if you can. Definitely. I think these deserve a one-time watch. If you have not, I believe many of these films are on Real House, and I believe that they are under My Indie Productions as a part of their community as well. So, thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Have a good one.